London's fog-shrouded alleys were never more treacherous than after sundown, when gas lamps struggled to pierce the darkness. I'd grown accustomed to this perpetual twilight, but tonight an unusual scent wafted through my nostrils. Smoke and something else. Coppery metal. The smell clung to me like a familiar companion. As I turned a corner, the whiff dissipated into the mist. My eyes scanned the rooftops, searching for anything out of place. That's when I saw her, Kim, with an innocence that seemed almost palpable. Her golden blonde locks cascaded down her back. Brown eyes, bright as burning coals, caught my gaze, drawing me in with an inexplicable force. I'd always avoided London's underbelly, where the unwary perished in darkness. Yet I found myself moving closer to this enchanting creature. The fog seemed to thicken around us, obscuring all but her features. In that fleeting moment, I felt a pang of curiosity, of longing. As our gazes locked, I detected a flicker of fear within those eyes. "Ah," a low voice whispered behind me. The softest whisper of a secret. "Careful, my dear." I spun around to face an elegantly attired stranger with a knowing gaze and coal black eyes that seemed carved from stone. He introduced himself as Dr. Thaddeus Wychwood, scholar of the occult. His words dripped with unsettling intimacy. "Be cautious," he whispered, "for in this city shadows ride like living things." I sensed a hint of madness beneath his polished facade. Flickering street lamps cast eerie silhouettes around us, mirroring my unease within. "What do you know?" I demanded, low and urgent, as I searched for any signs of menace. The professor's smile remained enigmatic as he vanished into the fog, leaving me with more questions than answers. The scent of smoke and copper lingered in the air, an unsettling echo of our brief encounter. How much did Dr. Wychwood know? And why was I drawn to this stranger? As I retreated from the darkness, gas lamps seemed dimmer, as if they sensed a looming shadow within me. Fog swirled around my ankles like a living entity. I hastened back to the safety of my townhouse. Night air clung heavy with smoke's stench, and something else. My mind replayed Dr. Wychwood's words. Shadows writhe, like living things. Within sanctuary, shadows cast by flickering gas lamps twisted into grotesque silhouettes, making me question what was real and what a product of the night air. The scent clung to my silk gown, taunting familiarity. My thoughts turned back to Dr. Wychwood. An unsettling sensation grew within me, akin to a fire kindling in darkness. Kim's image lingered, etched into my mind like a ghostly imprint. How have been so drawn? As I removed gloves and ran hand through hair, shivers danced along spine, a primal sensation. A knock at the door shattered silence. Beatrice nervously announced Lady Victoria's coachman with an invitation. Guest of honor to their gathering. Reluctantly accepting, I sensed trouble ahead. As we drove through mist-shrouded streets, Dr. Wychwood, watching from shadows, haunted my thoughts. Kim's face seared into memory like a branding iron. Darkness drew me closer to some unseen force, ancient and malevolent. "Take the left turn," Lady Victoria instructed. Fog-shrouded coach windows muffled her voice. Approaching an abandoned windmill, smoke and copper scent grew stronger, almost palpable. I felt unease. Part of me recognized this sight, yet how could that be? Shadows cast by lanterns seemed to writhe like restless spirit, heightening tension within me. "What's the purpose?" I inquired, attempting to hide growing unease beneath refinement. "A small gathering," she replied, tone hinting at secrets and taint. "Discussing a particular proposition." Windmill entrance yawned before us like an abyss. Unseen presence whispered forgotten whispers. Darkness seeping into my being. As we entered the windmill's depths, unsettling silence enveloped us. Every step echoed through abandoned space while shadows grew longer, twisted into grotesque silhouettes. Air heavy with smoke and copper scent crawled along skin as unblinking eyes seemed to follow me from the darkness. The gathering was a mixture of refined society and undercurrents of malevolent forces lurking just beyond perception. Anticipation hung in air like an unseen presence, waiting to consume us all. I glanced around, searching for hints of what lay ahead, but faces before me were masked. Scent of smoke grew stronger with each passing moment. My unease clawed at mind, warning me to flee, uncover the truth. Kim's absence weighed upon me, a physical presence, unspoken warning to flee this gathering while it was still possible. As I turned to leave, Lady Victoria purred an invitation for a gift, her voice dripping with malice. Dr. Wychwood watched from darkness. Whispers in mist grew louder, echoing my name. I opened my eyes as if awakening from a fevered dream. The room was quiet, save for Beatrice's soft breathing and the ticking of the clockwork automaton, its brass limbs motionless in the corner. "Beatrice?" I whispered, my voice trembling with an unspoken dread. The room's shadows seemed to writhe like living things as I spotted a faint crimson stain on her sleeve. Her gaze met mine, then flickered away, a silent admission. She'd witnessed something terrible. "What happened?" I demanded, the words barely above a whisper. Beatrice hesitated before speaking in hushed tones. "I saw her take Miss Kim away with them." The darkness followed, its whispers seeping into my ears like ice water. A chilling certainty solidified within me. Those who'd gathered at the windmill had taken Kim, and the darkness outside was merely a harbinger, an omen from the abyss. The room's shadows seemed to twist around us, as if the very darkness conspired against us. "Beatrice, we must leave this place immediately." "Ah, Miss Laura," she whispered, her eyes pleading with mine. "It may be too late for that. The whispers in the fog. I think it's already spread beyond the windmill's walls." As she spoke, a faint cry echoed from afar, distant and muffled, yet unmistakable. In this forsaken sanctuary, the clockwork automaton's silence hung heavy as the fog that shrouded us. Those gas lamps outside seemed to flicker in time with my racing heart. I glimpsed Beatrice's reflection in the mirror, her face pale as the very darkness itself, and something more sinister. The cry, though distant, sent shivers down my spine. The darkness outside seemed to writhe like a living entity, as if drawn to our sanctuary. As I rushed toward the door, Beatrice grasped my arm with an unspoken urgency. "Please, Miss Laura, you must be cautious. Whatever is happening, it's spreading like wildfire." But I was already halfway down the stairs, the gas lamps casting eerie shadows on the walls as if mocking me. A faint rustling echoed from below, whispers in the fog, drawing near. I grasped the handrail as a sudden realization struck. An unspoken connection between Beatrice and Dr. Wychwood. The scent of smoke and copper lingered within my nostrils, an unsettling reminder that some secrets were better left buried. Fumbling for a lantern on the landing, I descended into the darkness. Whispers grew louder, their meaning impossible to decipher, yet the malevolent intent was undeniable. As I burst through the coach door, the fog-shrouded streets loomed before us like a churning sea of darkness. It was then that I noticed Kim's coat, abandoned on the bench. A shiver coursed down my spine as an ominous certainty solidified. She was gone, and I had been left behind. The gas lamps casting shadows seemed to writhe in agony, as if they too sensed the approaching darkness. The whispers vanished into the night air, only to resume their maddening repetition, a dire portent. My thoughts fragmented like shattered glass. Kim's enigmatic smile, Dr. Wychwood's secrets, and Beatrice's warning. An eerie sense of unease began to seep into my bones. As the coachman guided us back to our townhouses, my mind reeled with the dark implications. I felt an unseen force drawing me towards some unknown fate, a morbid curiosity. In the silence that followed, Beatrice's eyes locked onto mine, as if sharing secrets she dared not speak aloud. Her gaze whispered, "They'll stop at nothing." Those unblinking coal-black eyes seemed to mirror Dr. Wychwood's own unsettling intensity. The darkness outside receded, temporarily revealing a fleeting glimpse of the world beyond our coach window. Gas lamps cast eerie shadows on buildings that loomed like monoliths against the fog-shrouded night air. I sensed an ancient, creeping power in this twilight realm, something that would consume us all. Fogginess crept into my vision as the coach door creaked open, releasing a chill of foreboding. The driver's voice whispered its soft reply. "We've arrived, Miss Laura." I descended into the fog-choked night, Beatrice by my side. Shadows danced upon the pavement like grotesque puppets, taunting me with the darkness we sought to avoid. "Stay close, Beatrice," I warned, the words barely above a whisper. The streets grew increasingly deserted, as if the city itself had retreated from this forsaken stretch of London. The fog began to clear. An ominous sign? As we turned a corner, my heart skipped a beat. Before us lay the dark silhouette of Smithfield's slaughterhouses. Gas lamps cast macabre shadows on the imposing structures. The clock struck midnight, its chimes echoing through the fog. The abattoirs loomed before us, their dark silhouettes an affront to the night. I sensed a creeping dread, as if the very darkness seeped into my being. As we turned onto the fog-shrouded street, an unsettling silence enveloped us, the city's screams and wails muffled by the dense mist. The clockwork automaton in the townhouse had stopped working, its gears frozen, like my own heart. The slaughterhouses loomed ahead, the darkness spilling forth from their gaping mouths like a living entity. Shadows seemed to writhe upon the pavement, as if death itself watched our every move. I grasped Beatrice's arm, and we hastened toward our townhouse, away from this unholy sight. The fog clung to us like a damp shroud, suffocating the city in its grip. Upon entering the sanctuary of my townhouse, I stumbled upon a letter addressed to me, no return address, yet with an eerie familiarity to Dr. Wychwood's script. The words blazed before me like hellfire. "Meet me at St. Paul's Cathedral at midnight. Come alone." As I crumpled the paper, Beatrice's hand tightened around my arm. Midnight shadows engulfed St. Paul's Cathedral as I stepped into the fog-shrouded night. Dr. Wychwood waiting with eyes blazing like ancient secrets. "Ah, Miss Laura," he whispered. "I see you received my invitation." The darkness swirling around us thickened, reality itself trembling before this forbidden meeting. In this forsaken place, shadows seemed to writhe in agony. My senses screamed at me to flee, yet Dr. Wychwood's presence bound me like a moth to flame. "Tell me," I demanded in barely above a whisper, "what has happened to Kim?" The professor smiled with cruel calculation, darkness resonating with his malevolent energy. "Oh no, Miss Laura, it's not about Miss Kim." His breath caressed my ear. "It's about the artifact. You see, I've been searching for something. A relic capable of reshaping our world." Darkness closed in, an unfathomable presence drawing closer. The darkness swirling around us grew more tangible, as if sensing growing unease within me. "Reshaping the world?" My voice trembled like air alive and hostile. Dr. Wychwood chuckled, breath warm on my ear once more. "Foolish mortals, always chasing power at any cost." He gestured toward the windmill's entrance, location where I'd witnessed Kim. A gust of fog-shrouded air carried unseen presence, whispers from beyond veil, as if ancient powers watched our exchange. Suddenly a figure emerged, not Dr. Wychwood, but Kim. Her brown eyes now glowed with otherworldly light, skin almost translucent. "Forgive me, Doctor," I whispered in fear. "I think it's time for us to part ways." Dr. Wychwood smiled as if expecting this development. Sinister action. "Ah, you're already entwined with our gathering, Miss Laura." His gaze seemed to bore into my soul as he sensed something within me waiting to be unleashed. The fog began clearing, revealing faint glow on Kim's skin like embers from ancient fire. Her brown eyes blazed with unsettling intensity, pupils burning like tiny stars in darkness. I glanced at Beatrice, who'd crept closer, her face pale as shadows themselves. "Dr. Wychwood," I warned, barely audible above whisper, "leave them be." The professor's smile broadened, eyes seeming to gleam with unholy light, an unsettling reflection of Kim's radiant gaze. "Ah, but Miss Laura, the experiment is underway." His words dripped with malevolent anticipation. As Beatrice trembled beside me, a presence lurked just beyond darkness's veil. Something ancient and eldritch. Shadows began writhe in agony. In this forsaken place, night air seemed to writhe like living entity as I realized Kim was no innocent gaze, not that of enigmatic stranger. It was then I comprehended her secrets, some unseen force revealing truth to me. Darkness receded, Beatrice vanished into fog, fleeing twisted reality. Dr. Wychwood's eyes still burned within mine, a morbid curiosity tempered by unholy understanding. As I beheld Kim's radiant gaze, brown eyes changed. Pupils vanished, and ethereal light enveloped her face, casting unearthly glow upon night air. I felt connection to darkness grow stronger, as if shadows themselves were drawn to twisted union. In that moment we shared glance, promise of eternal damnation, bond sealed in blood and darkness. In chaos that followed, Dr. Wychwood vanished into fog, leaving behind unsettling silence. As cities succumbed to unrelenting terror, I realized Kim and I shared a bond forged in darkness, our love sealed forever.